Welcome back, everybody. Hey, it's Friday, June 28th, 2024. Born on this date in 1961, former NBA player Jeff Malone of Mobile. Longtime Utah Jazz fans may know him as the shorter of the Malones on that team because 6'4" is short, compared to the mailman. Today, we have the bottom line on Nick Saban's deal to advise the Tide, a bill that could bolster benefits for school teachers, an MS-13 leader heading to prison, and one of our own is tearing it up in the American League. Then we're going to have reporter Ivana Rinku come on the show to take our news review quiz. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. Every couple of years or so, we've shared updates here for listeners who might be concerned over Nick Saban's financial well-being. And now that he's no longer the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide football team, it's a good time to check in. Although surely whatever he's pulling down from endorsements, investments such as his Mercedes dealerships, and of course his analyst work with ESPN, surely probably provides sustenance. That was an $11 million gig that he walked away from. But he'll still also be making some money from the University of Alabama. AL.com's Michael Casagrande reports that Saban's work as an advisor to the program brings a salary of $500,000 a year. Now, oddly enough, that's a good bit more than his base pay was as head coach. Most of his coaching money came from talent fees and bonuses. Workers' comp for teachers could be on the way next year if a pre-filed bill makes it through the Alabama legislature, reports AL.com's Elena Bookman. The bill is from State Senator Sam Gavon, a Huntsville Republican. Under it, workers' comp benefits for those who were injured on the job would replace the current process of reimbursement that often comes in late and a little light. The Mary Ann Leonard Educators on the Job Injury Act would let education employees draw their salaries for up to 90 days after being injured, with extensions possible, and it wouldn't count against sick leave. Medical bills would be paid through the Public Education Employees Health Insurance Program. Folks, we have 221 days until the 2025 Alabama legislative session. So we got that going for us. A U.S. district judge has sentenced one of El Salvador's most wanted after his arrest in Chelsea, reports AL.com's Carol Robinson. The arrest came last year. Juan Carlos Portillo pleaded guilty to illegal reentry after deportation. He's the leader of a clique in the MS-13 gang and is one of El Salvador's top 100 most wanted. He has 6 arrest warrants out for him there on charges of aggravated kidnapping, attempted aggravated homicide, illicit association, aggravated extortion, terrorist organization, deprivation of liberty, and aggravated homicide. Here, he's now facing 2 years in federal prison. Former Mr. Baseball of Alabama, Gunnar Henderson, is having a heck of a season with the Baltimore Orioles, and he's likely to land a spot in next month's Major League Baseball All-Star Game, reports AL.com's Mark Abbott. It would be kind of a crime if he didn't. Henderson is second only to Aaron Judge in the American League in home runs with 26. He's also only second to Judge in total bases, slugging percentage, and OPS. He leads the league with 70 runs scored. Now, Phase 1 voting for the All-Star Game is done by fans, and it narrows each position down to 2 players. Henderson was able to get past that round. He's at Phase 2, where fans will be voting between Henderson and Bobby Witt Jr. Now, Phase 2 voting will be online from 11 a.m. Sunday until 11 a.m. Wednesday. After that, reserves and pitchers will be selected through player ballots and commissioner's office selections. Henderson played for Morgan Academy in Selma and at Auburn University. Hey, let's take a break. We'll be right back with Ivana Rinku. Thanks everybody for sticking with us. It is Friday on the Down in Alabama podcast, so we're going to have a little more fun and do a news quiz, catch everybody up on some of the headlines you might have missed. Possibly shame a reporter for getting questions wrong. I don't know. We don't set out to do that, but it just kind of happens. Today we have a familiar guest to those of the show. And also, if you follow AL.com on Facebook, you know Ivana Rinku from a live show she did for a couple of years during the pandemic. Ivana, welcome back to Down in Alabama.
Thank you, Ike, for having me. I'm a little bit nervous at this about this quiz, but we're going to do our best.
Now, let's get this out of the way because everybody who's come on, and I think I even did this when I took a quiz on here, they have an excuse ahead of time for why they're not going to do well. Do you have an excuse?
Absolutely have an excuse. I've been in a writing hole. I've got two really good stories coming up. Hopefully, in the next week to 10 days, they're on the editor's desk. But that's my excuse. I've been in that hole. I have not emerged from that hole. That's a lie. I have only emerged from that hole to view Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce content online. But other than that, I have been in my hole. So that's my excuse.
Are you one of those people? Are you one of those reasons that we have to hear about Taylor Swift and Kelsey all the time?
Yes, I am absolutely. And what's funny is like I've gotten to the point where I will text my husband during the workday and be like, I'm just so glad that Taylor's happy and that Travis is happy. And he's gotten to the point where like, at first, he was like, do we have to talk about this every day? And now he's gotten to the point where he's like, you know what? I agree with you. I'm glad they're happy because he's realized that it's just not worth arguing about. But the whole, and if you have ever gotten on the internet, ever, you probably at this point have been caught up, or you might not have, Ike, because because of the the hole you put yourself in. But if you have gone on the internet recently, you do know about the London show about Taylor and Travis on stage together. You know about the royal family selfie there. All the things that have happened recently, and that's given me life for the last couple of days.
I don't know any of those things that have happened, but I will say two things about your home situation. A, God bless your husband, and
Yeah.
and B, the real truth in a home is if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. And if Tay Tay being happy makes mama happy, he's fine. He'll get through this.
Absolutely. And I will share one thing that I think that a lot of people will hopefully also chuckle at, and from the Travis angle here. And that is, and if you know anything if about me or my family, we're very big San Francisco 49ers fans. So you're obviously not Chiefs fans, right? Over the last couple of years. But I did ask my husband, I said, how, but again, that's like, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I have to subtract Travis Kelce from that now. Like, he clearly is on our side. But I asked my husband, I said, what do you think that Andy Reid thinks about Taylor and Travis? And my husband just looked at me and he said, I don't think he thinks about them. He was like, I don't think that thought has crossed Andy Reid's mind, not a single time. So
Yeah, I would imagine that's true. It's probably on Andy Reid's mind as much as it's on my mind. Although I will say this, I like that Tim McGraw song. That's how far along in this I've come.
that's about you're only about 17 years late, Ike, but I appreciate the enthusiasm.
I got my bachelor's degree 17 years late, so that's what I'm working on. You also mentioned you kind of hinted at a couple stories that we have coming out. In order to
Mhm,
hold your feet to the fire on that, what
mhm.
are we talking about here? What have you been writing?
You'll have to wait, and you'll have to wait and find out. But they are both
Ah,
part of my Denied series, and my Denied series has been on Alabama's parole system that started running in January, and I've been dropping pieces every month, a couple times a month since then. So these are two more pieces in that series. So stay tuned for those.
and it's a big secret. You know that the your editor is not listening to this show. You can tell us whatever you want.
That's true. That's true. Although I have to say, I have collected several gold stars from my editor recently, and I don't. He does not give those out very. He's very judicious with those. So I'm going to keep my gold stars. I'm going to keep my mouth shut there and try not to get sent to detention.
All right, all right. Just since you're clearly fishing to come back on the show when the stories come out, then we'll have to do that. Let's get to the quiz. That's what everybody's here for. Today's
I was
quiz.
really just stalling.
No, you can't put off the inevitable though. All right, first question. The University of Alabama Board of Trustees recently formally approved a plan for UAB Health System to acquire A. Rickwood Field, B. the Birmingham Southern College campus, C. Ascension St. Vincent's Hospital sites, or D. naming rights to the new Alabama State House.
C. Ascension Hospital. Ascension Hospital.
Hey,
St.
you're off to a
Vincent's.
great start with the first one right.
Woohoo! I feel good. I'm confident.
All right, well, then let's see how you do with number two. Question number two. Reggie Jackson recently went viral after he described the discrimination he faced while playing in Birmingham in 1967. What team did he play for? A. Birmingham Barons, B. Birmingham Athletics, C. Birmingham Braves, or D. the Birmingham Southern Panthers.
What were the give me the options again? We had Birmingham Braves, Birmingham Southern Panthers, Birmingham Barons, and what was the other one?
Athletics, minor league of the Oakland Athletics.
I think it's Birmingham Athletics.
Another one right.
Yes. Yes.
2 for 2 so far. The Birmingham Athletics Southern Association minor league team for the, I almost said Philadelphia Athletics. How old am I? The Oakland Athletics. All right. Question number three. Montgomery's Romay Davis, who passed away recently at age 104, was awarded a Congressional Gold Medal for serving the U.S. Army in this capacity. A. She was the longest tenured drill instructor. B. She was a member of the 6th 888 Battalion that cleared a backlog of mail to soldiers in World War II Europe. C. She was the only female member of the Tuskegee Airmen. Or D. She was the machine gunner who inspired the Alice in Chains song Rooster.
B.
Dang, you're running away with it.
I knew that one because I got to meet her actually when I hosted our Women Who Shaped the State event, or This is Alabama's Women Who Shaped the State event. I believe it was maybe 2 years ago. We honored her there, and I got to meet her, and she was phenomenal in every way, and just an inspiration, and just so lovely. So I got to meet her, and very sad to hear about her passing. She was a really amazing person.
Yeah, 104, what a life, you know. And every time we've mentioned her here on the show, we have a couple of times, we have to mention how she worked at Winn-Dixie, I believe, until after she was 100.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think she had just stopped working there when she attended the Women Who Shape the State event, or she hadn't stopped working there long. She hadn't been gone from there long. So I mean, and she was incredible, and she was hysterical as well. So yeah, glad that we can still be talking about her.
All right, let's move to question number 4. It's getting dangerous here, so we're going to have to try to trick you up a little bit. Question 4. The first black mayor appears to be on his way to the mayor's office in this Alabama town after a bizarre, nearly 4-year impasse with the longtime city leadership over who would control the town hall.
I think I know this one.
A. New Bern, B. Mentone, C. Bruton, or D. Arbucci?
A. New Bern.
Oh man, they have the champagne bottles in the clubhouse.
Ooh, Making me nervous now for this last question.
And the plastic is down. They're ready for the celebration back there. All right. Question number 5. What is the relationship between Saharan dust plumes and tropical disturbances? See, we're getting scientific on you now. A, the Saharan dust plumes can hinder formation of tropical systems. B, the Saharan dust plumes fuel the development of tropical systems. C, areas of tropical development push the plumes back to the Sahara. Or D, tropical storms put Saharan dust and Africanized honeybees through a blending effect that produces a new supervillain.
This is not fair because this does not seem like an Alabama question, and I thought this was an Alabama news quiz.
Oh, this absolutely can be Alabama. I mean, you remember 2020, right?
I don't remember.
Well, in 2020, the Saharan dust plume made it over here fairly intact, and for a few days, we just had beautiful sunsets.
I'm going back and forth between hindering and fueling, and I'm trying to think what would make the most sense. I think I'm going to say it. I think I'm going to say it hinders.
Oh boy. We have an unbeaten score.
Yay!
That's not happened often, but it's obviously ties the record.
I do.
Unless I'm forgetting somebody, Ben Flanagan's the only other contestant to get all 5 perfect.
Yes! I would be, first of all, I wish that your viewers could see me celebrating, but unfortunately this is just audio here. But I can't scream because we're in our AL.com studio and they're shooting videos, but I'm like silently screaming. I'm whisper screaming. I'm so proud of myself, and I'm honestly very surprised.
we're not surprised. Thanks so much for being a good sport and doing this, Ivana. Thanks everybody out there for being a good sport and listening to us. We are going to be back bright and early Monday morning. Until then, as always, y'all come on by and see what we're up to on the World Wide Web at AL.com.